Carolyn, if you, yeah, she never knows what I'm going to say. This will probably embarrass Carolyn, but she won't be surprised by it. When she came out of Baylor, she was a 4.0 student, never made a B. And my banking professor told me those were like unicorns because they usually get swept up by the big firms, big markets. Carolyn's here because she wanted to be here. She chose this community to be here, and we welcomed and benefited by it. So I think about that when I think of Carolyn. So the other thing about Carolyn, she has a very dynamic career, very challenging career at Central National Bank. And in addition to doing that and doing this is really a 5-year commitment when you sign up for this, and the nominating committee asks you. Most people don't realize that. You sign up as secretary first, and then treasurer, and then chairman-elect, and then chairman, and then past chairman. So it's a 5-year commitment to serve on the executive committee. And she does all that while raising 2 girls and raising Rusty, her husband. So, with that being said, there's a this I want to give you. It says Carolyn Halfcamp, 2025 Chair of the Board of Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce, in grateful appreciation for your outstanding leadership, personal dedication, and commitment to the greater Waco area. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. In speaking before a crowd of this size, I'm reminded that multiple scientific studies have consistently confirmed that people's number one fear is not fear of heights, it's not fear of snakes or spiders, or even fear of dying. The number one fear is what? You want to guess? Public speaking, yes. It's certainly my wife Kelly's greatest phobia, and she's sitting right there. You want to raise your hand, Kelly? Raise your hand. Thank you. I think about this when I think of Kelly. You know, I heard it said sometime, you know your spouse is prettier than you when you get to the checkout counter at H-E-B and the cashier throws that divider between your groceries, and you're like, I'm with her. I'm with her. I've been telling her all week that she'd have to say some words from the stage, and she said, nope. I said, no, they do that, really. And she said, in fact, if you call me up there and embarrass me, I'm never coming back. And she said it just like that, too. She said, I'm never coming back. And I said, Kelly, that's kind of harsh. We've been married 40 years. You'd leave me over a banquet speech? She said, no, stupid, I'm not going to leave you. But I'm never coming back to another one of these events if you embarrass me. So this may be her last time. And recently I've concluded that public speaking isn't really her biggest fear. That's her second greatest fear. Her biggest fear is her husband's public speaking. She says she just never knows what I might say. And actually, it's a concern with some merit. For example, because what I'm about to say next. In fact, I told her what I was thinking about saying, and she said, you're not really going to do that, are you? And I said, you know what? I think I am. So here we go. One of the Chamber's, I'm going to read this so I get this right. One of the Chamber's marquee programs for over 40 years has been the Leadership Waco program. Each year, a select group of people are inducted into the class to get leadership training, learn all about Waco's business, industry, and government. In fact, they even have a Leadership Waco alumni group that still has events and speaks proudly of themselves. It's a very prestigious group. I know there are dozens of Leadership Waco alums in the room right now. In fact, I wasn't going to do this, but we don't need to take everybody so seriously. If you are a Leadership Waco alum or you're in Leadership Waco now, why don't you stand up? Isn't that crazy? Thank you. Now, here's the interesting part. About 30 years ago, I was encouraged by my boss to apply for Leadership Waco. And guess who didn't make the cut? Yep. So, for all those underachievers out there, there's still hope. As a matter of fact, and you know who you are, if you were on that selection committee in 1995, no, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. But I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Seriously, and I'll be brief. I told Mr. Holtz, I thought about not saying this too, but I might as well say it. I told Mr. Holtz tonight, I said, I was so impressed. Sloan Kill told me that Charles Bank got 3 tables to come hear me do this speech. That was so impressive. So I know you're here to see, and it's not me. Seriously, I do want to take a few minutes to talk about why the Chamber matters. Why are we here tonight? Why economic development matters. Why getting involved really does make a difference in a community our size. Now, economic development can sound like one of those phrases that belongs in a report that no one actually reads, but it's not complicated. It's about jobs. It's about businesses being able to grow instead of just surviving. It's about whether people see a future for themselves right here in River City or feel like they have to move somewhere else to find opportunity. And that's why I mentioned Carolyn and many of those that followed after her that stayed. A pastor I like to follow up in North Richland Hills, Pastor Rick Atchley says, but life isn't just about competitions won, it's about connections made. So go make some. And at the Chamber, you can do that here. In a community our size, relationships matter. We don't do business with logos. We do business with someone we've met, we've talked to, and we trust. And you can do that here. Networking doesn't need to mean awkward tags and forced conversations. Sometimes it's just standing next to someone and saying, so what do you do? And the next thing you know, it turns into a referral or a partnership or someone you can talk to when you need advice. Or sometimes you can just have somebody to talk to when you need a friendly voice, and that happens too. And you can do that here at the Chamber. The Chamber helps businesses grow and get better at what they do. Through training, workshops, and leadership programs, they help you run your business smarter, and they help employees grow, and they help you keep up with change. And change is coming. One business speaking alone doesn't get much traction, but when businesses speak together through the Chamber, people listen. And that creates a business and friendly environment and a community moving in the right direction. And being a member matters, but showing up matters more. Attending events, serve on a committee, and just help. So who else in the room might be a Legacy Award winner someday? We're about to see some of those, and there's some future ones in the room, I'm sure. And lastly, as to the future, there's about 275 miles between Dallas-Fort Worth and San Antonio along I-35. It's the hottest economic development corridor in the country, no question. And Waco's poised to have a great 2026. I look forward to working with you to help make it happen. And while the work we do is serious, as you can tell, how we do it doesn't always have to be. So let's have some fun along the way doing it. Thank you. Thank you for showing up.